Hi everyone, this is CricketSong with Lunar Wisdom, and today I'm going to be talking about stones and crystals. I had a viewer subscriber send me a message asking if it matters if they use polished or dyed stones as opposed to more natural stones. They said it's probably better to have natural ones, but recently they've only been able to find the polished ones, and they want to know if it will lower the property of the stone. They also want to know if I have a recommendation or a website or some other way to help identify crystals and stones. So first of all, let me address the idea of polished or natural. Now, personally, and this is just my opinion, I feel that the more natural the stone or the condition that the stone is, the more, I guess, the stronger the connection with those energies. For example, if you can find a hunk of hematite in its natural state, I feel like you're going to have sort of a stronger alignment with the property of hematite, the grounding energy. But that isn't to say if you go, for example, this bracelet I have is hematite and all these little stones are polished and tumbled. It doesn't mean that these stones don't have the energy, the grounding energy that the hunk of hematite has. They still have those energies. So I feel like you're still going to have the energies. Now it's when you maybe start altering the stone where I feel like the energies may be less prominent, but you're still going to have those energies. And another example is say you take a piece of paper and you write the word hematite on that paper, that energy is still going to be in that word written on that paper. It may not be as influential as the hunk of hematite or the polished stone of hematite, but that piece of paper with the word hematite on it is still going to carry that grounding energy that the stones do. And this is because the law of magic, the law of sympathy, when you have an image, even a picture of a stone of hematite, or the word written on the paper, you're still aligning yourself with the vibration of the actual object. Like, for example, if you're doing a healing for someone and that individual cannot be there in the circle with you, but you have a photo of them or you have an item of theirs in the circle with you to do the healing, that item that's representing that individual is going to be your target and is going to then connect you to the person that owns it. Same way with stones and crystals. Ideally, you would want to have the stone and crystal with you, or the more natural hunk of it, but it doesn't mean that the polished stone or the piece of paper with the word written on it isn't going to give you the same energy, the same vibration. Because in reality, realistically, we're all connected by that energy. We're all made of this energy. And I find, personally, depending on what I'm using the stones for, I sometimes like the more polished stone as opposed to the hunk of stone. It's all dependent on my intention or the purpose that I'm using these stones for. When I'm doing crystal grids, which I have one sitting over here, I happen to like the polished stones better. They look prettier to me. If I'm making jewelry or if I'm wearing them, I like the polished stones better. When I am perhaps just holding the stone in my home, like the quartz crystal that I have over here, it's more of a natural look to it. It's a big chunk of that stone. So it really depends on the intention. So I feel that it really doesn't matter, and it's going to be your personal preference as to what type of stone. Do you want the more natural look? Do you want the polished look? And maybe you want both, depending on what you're using the stones and crystals for. So just remember that it's still going to hold the vibration of the energies that you're looking for, whether they're natural or polished. And dyed, I feel like that that would really be dependent upon what you're using it for. I feel like if you're taking a stone and you're dyeing it an unnatural color, you're going to have not only the energies of that stone, and then you're having the energies that may be associated to the color of that of what it's holding, because all colors have a correspondence too. But if you don't know whether it's a dyed stone or not, then feel it out for yourself. What does that stone, what does that energy feel like to you? Now, for identifying stones and crystals, to be totally honest with you, I use the Crystal Bible, this book by Judy Hall, to really, if I have a stone that I'm not sure of. There's a second Crystal Bible too that has more stones, and I just sort of look at the pictures to try to determine what stone it is. I don't have any one particular website I go to. I have a lot of friends who are pretty familiar with stones, so I sometimes ask them what is this stone. I don't use a lot of different stones in my personal practice. I have maybe 5 stones I work with. I mostly work with quartz crystal. I do work with citrine, rose quartz, amethyst. I use hematite a lot, tiger's eye, and lapis lazuli. I think those are the stones I really utilize. Did I say hematite? If I didn't, I meant to say hematite is one of my favorites too. Those are the ones I use the most, and occasionally I'll use some others. I do have a box of, actually I just bought a whole bunch of selenite. I wanted to start using selenite too. But I don't really use too many stones and crystals in my practice. So hopefully that gave you the answers that you were looking for in regards to stones and crystals. And as always, I love you. Mwah.